it's Travis Holtrey, and got something fun in store for you. A couple of months ago, the guys from Media Arts came and they said, hey, you know, we're always serious around here, which is a good thing. We're serious, and we should be. But we need to do something a little lighthearted, a little fun. And so they went to work and they pitched an idea to me, and it's called Judging Lawyers. And what Judging Lawyers is it's an opportunity for me to watch a little clip from you know, a well-known movie that has a courtroom scene or a lawyer doing their thing in their line of work, and then I critique that. Now, you know, it sounds like a great idea, but I'm a little bit nervous about it because, you know, the book of Matthew says, do not judge lest thee be judged. So I'm concerned only that, you know, if I'm judging these lawyers and being critical of them, you know, who knows who's going to be judging me. But we'll get to that, I guess. Maybe we'll let somebody, maybe the way we'll end this is allow somebody to watch one of my courtroom scenes and allow them to judge me. But anyway, with that being said, here we go. Week 1, or episode 1, and whatever we're going to call this. What is this, guys? Tell me.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Be seated.
Ms. Woods, you may begin your questioning.
First of all, I would like to point out that not only is there no proof in this case.
All right, well, the first thing that I notice here is that this is a jury trial, and there's a lot of people in the courtroom, and Elle, you know, who's pretty good looking, probably doesn't need to bring much more attention to herself other than her natural beauty. And so, I guess the first thing I would say is maybe not the hot pink outfit and the hot pink handbag that speaks volumes like, oh, I've got all this money. You know, what you want to do to relate to a jury is you want to not bring attention to yourself. You just want to be more conservative in your dress. So this is a little bit too flashy, I think, for a jury trial. But let's keep going.
Ms. Woods, you may begin your questioning.
First of all, I would like to point out that not only is there no proof in this case, but there's a complete lack of mens rea, which by definition tells us that there can be no crime without a vicious will.
All right, so when she stands up, she does not even begin to question the witness. Instead, she goes on a dissertation about mens rea, which is guilty mind, and she's defining that for the judge, who probably, I think we're going to see if I recall this clip correctly, the judge does not need to have legal terms defined for it, because this is a time for cross-examination of a witness and not any type of legal argument.
I am aware of the meaning of mens rea. What I'm unaware of is why you're giving me a vocabulary lesson when you should be questioning your witness.
Yes, Your Honor.
One thing I'll say she did right is when a judge gets on to you about something, yes, Your Honor, and move on. She did a very good job with that. I'd give her a thumbs up for that.
Miss Wyndham, when you arrived back at the house, was your father there?
Not that I saw, but like I said, I went straight upstairs to take a shower.
And when you came downstairs, what happened?
I saw Brooke standing over his body, drenched in his blood.
Okay, so right there, the witness answered something that was obviously not favorable to her position, and she made the mistake of immediately looking at the jury like she was scared of the answer. A lot of times you're going to get answers that aren't going to go your way when you're cross-examining a witness, and you don't want to immediately look at the jury because it just makes it sink in even more that was not good for me.
But Mrs. Wyndham didn't have a gun.
No, she'd stashed it by then.
Move to strike that from the record, Your Honor. It's speculation.
So stricken.
It's very odd that you object to your own question, however her co-counsel objects to something she just did, which is, I don't think that's ever happened. I would probably beat Tyler if he objected to a question that I asked. So.
Miss Wyndham, did you hear a shot fired?
No, I was in the shower.
Okay. So, sometime in the 20 minutes that you were in the shower, your father was shot.
I guess.
Your father was shot while you were in the shower, but you didn't hear the shot because you were in the shower?
Now, a lot of times that type of question would draw an objection as to being a repetitive question or cumulative, because she's basically asking the same question in different words. And a lot of times that's an indication you don't know where you're going, okay? So, but I think this turns out okay for her.
Yes. I was washing my hair.
Okay, so don't ever bring your dog to trial. The dog just popped up out of the the pink Gucci bag. I mean, this is, first of all, I think you'd get disbarred unless you need a service dog and have it all prearranged. I cannot imagine bringing a Chihuahua to court with me in a Gucci bag.
Where's she going with this? Have a little faith, George.
Miss Wyndham, what had you done earlier that day?
I got up, got a latte, went to the gym, got a perm, and came home.
Well, you got in the shower?
I believe the witness has made it clear that she was in the shower.
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Wyndham, had you ever gotten a perm before?
Something that's interesting to notice at this point is that Elle puts her notes down because now she's got the thought that she knows she's going to run with. And a lot of times as attorneys, it's when you step away from your outline and when you trust your instincts, you do better. And I think that's what we're going to see here is something clicked with her about the perm, and she's getting ready to now take her down that path. And she set her notes down and she stepped away from it. So that does happen a lot of times. If an attorney will pull away from their outline and kind of go more natural and trust their instincts, that they get a lot better cross-examination.
Yes?
How many would you say?
2 a year since I was 12. You do the math.
You know, a girl in my sorority, Tracy Marcinko, got a perm once. We all tried to talk her out of it. Curls weren't a good...
This would not be allowed in real life. Giving a dissertation about somebody in your sorority doing something is to set up a question. It would never happen. You would not have... This is the obvious, poetic license that we give Hollywood in producing movies. This would never happen, but it makes for good movies, unless your PJ has never seen this movie, and he would not think that this is good movies.
Look for her. She didn't have your bone structure. Oh. But thankfully, that same day, she entered the Beta Delta Pi wet t-shirt contest where she was completely hosed down from...
See, I mean, it's going on and on and on. No questions being asked here. It's a dissertation. Never would be allowed.
From head to toe.
Objection.
There we go.
Why
Objection.
is this relevant?
Oh, I have a point, I promise.
Then make it.
Yes. Chutney, why is it that Tracy Marcinko's curls were ruined when she got hosed down?
Because they got wet?
Exactly. Because isn't it the first cardinal rule of perm maintenance that you're forbidden to wet your hair for at least 24 hours after getting a perm, at the risk of deactivating the ammonium thioglycolate?
Yes.
And wouldn't somebody who's had, say, 30 perms before in their life be well aware of this rule?
Just something to notice here is when she's getting on this line of questions where she's getting the girl to admit, she's gonna end up admitting that she killed her own father. She's asking leading questions. And leading questions are questions that can be answered only with the word yes or no, where you're suggesting the answer by your question. You're only allowed to do that to adverse witnesses or certain circumstances with a difficult witness or with sometimes medical witnesses. So it's interesting, she starts adding, and when she starts in on these leading questions, the witness just follows her, and that's why they're called leading questions.
And if in fact you weren't washing your hair, as I suspect you weren't because your curls are still intact, wouldn't you have heard the gunshot? And if in fact you had heard the gunshot, Brooke Wyndham wouldn't have had time to hide the gun before you got downstairs.
One thing I notice here is she's asking questions and not getting an answer. And again, that, you know, the court would probably at some point say, hey, let the witness answer the questions. But she's on her roll, she's feeling good, and she's about ready to deliver the knockout punch, just like Hollywood would script it.
Which would mean that you would have had to have found Mrs. Wyndham with a gun in her hand to make your story plausible. Isn't that right?
She's my age. Did she tell you that? How would you feel if your father married someone who was your age?
You, however, had time to hide the gun, didn't you, Chutney? After you shot your father.
I didn't mean to shoot him. I thought it was you walking through the door.
Oh. And there you go. She delivers the knockout punch, gets the admission. All right, her friend, her sorority sister walks, and everybody lives happily ever after. This has been Travis Holtrey, Judging Lawyers.
Oh my God.